Hello, this is On the Front Porch with Clint Brown, and I'm your host, Clint Brown. And this is the first of one of many programs about veterans, for veterans and about veterans. And if you ride around Wolfeboro, you see a lot of plates with a V on it. That's a veteran's plate. And behind each of those plates is a story. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to honor and talk about our Wolfeboro veterans and relate their stories. And for our very first guest, I am pleased and honored to have George Sargent, who's called Sarge, who was in the Marine Corps. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
When did you join the Marines?
1942, I believe.
42. That was after Pearl Harbor. Was that one of the reasons why you joined?
Yes, that was. Because the reason why I really did join is because my dad was in World War I. And I figured I better do something like he did, so I did, and I joined the Marine Corps. 1st Battalion, 24th Marines.
Where did you go for basic training?
New River, North Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, were you living here? You weren't living here in Wolfeboro then.
No, I was in Franklin, living in Franklin.
You had to all go to North Carolina for basic training.
Yeah, basic training was 8 weeks. Yeah, had a good training, marching and drilling and all that. And I usually liked that because I was in a drum corps when I was younger in Franklin, so it came easy to me on the marching.
Kind of natural for you.
Right, it was, yes.
And where did you go after basic?
From there we went to, I think it was Hawaii, where we formed the 4th Marine Division.
Wow, so right from basic into the war.
Yep, we didn't fool around.
No. You didn't get any time off from basic before you went to Hawaii?
We had 2 weeks off for furlough. Yeah. And then after that, we went right in and we went overseas.
Wow. So from Hawaii, where did you go?
The first islands, the fighting was the Marshall Islands.
Okay.
Yep. Then after that, we had, all told, I went in 5 different islands of the NIPS, Japanese, we call them NIPS.
Right.
Yeah.
So right from basic training to the war, as a young man, how old were you?
Oh, God, a young whippersnapper, but I must have been 20.
Okay.
I'd say 20.
So that was a whole new experience.
Oh, yes. You didn't stay around too long. You did what they told you, and you made sure you did it right.
Yeah.
The drill instructors.
Right,
Yeah.
Well, do you have any interesting stories other than war that you want to tell?
Not that I know of, you know.
Tell them about your reunions, George.
Oh, we have reunions every year. The guys get together and talk about what we did during the war and all that stuff. And, you know, and some of them are going on now, but it's nice to listen to them and hear them. And you tell yours story and they tell theirs.
What's your company recreation director?
Yeah, I was battalion recreation director.
During the war?
Yeah.
After
After it.
After you would.
Yeah, after the war, after Iwo.
Oh, you were on Iwo Jima.
Yeah. That was my last one. Good.
Did you see them raise the flag?
I saw quite a few.
Yes, he did see it.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Tell them about
Oh, you went to a reunion in New Orleans.
And a friend of mine was in my squad. His name was Joe Coelho. He comes from California. And I was in the 81 Motors. And our squad leader, Donald Reinert, him and Joe came up to see me one year. We had a good old jabber conference because we were on the same squad when I was in the war. I was in the same platoon and everything.
You know, it's great when you guys can get together and talk about old times.
Yeah, we do. We get together. We have reunions, we call them, you know.
It's something that civilians just wouldn't understand.
No, that's true. They say, what the heck do you guys talk about? It's been hours. But we still talk, and we remember things that we used to do, and we actually protected each other.
That's good.
That's what we did, and that was nice. I think we only lost about 2 men in our whole squadron,
Now that is protection.
and that's good protection.
There's a book written about you guys. You know that? Tom Brokaw?
But one of those things. I always figured my dad was in World War One, and when I got old enough to join, I figured I'd follow his footsteps, and that's what I did. But I went in. I liked the Marine Corps, though. That's what I did.
Marine Corps is a tough unit.
Yes, and I liked it too. I got in trouble a couple of times, but you get out of it, you know. They give you a KP duty to punish you.
Did you get any recreation time between the islands?
Yes, we had time for retraining. Every island and fighting was different because you was fighting against different combat Japanese troops, and some of them were really smart, and some of them they had to be there. That's the way it worked.
So you had to go for retraining, but did you get any recreation time?
Yes, we had some. We got a lot of recognition time preparing for the next. They blend the two in together, learning new things and blending in on your recreation time.
Did you go anywhere like Hawaii, back to Hawaii or New Zealand or anything for recreation?
Back to Hawaii. Yeah. The ship didn't have a new load of gyrenes coming over, giving you a rest, in other words. And the other thing, too.
I bet you were glad to see them.
Yeah, oh yeah, we was always glad to see him. Yeah. I really enjoyed it, though, being in there. You learn a lot, and they teach you a lot, too. And you got to be on the ball or you're in trouble. And that's the way it worked.
So, Sarge, you were a recreation officer?
Director, yeah.
Director.
Yeah. I made sure that one a day, the whole battalion did some kind of sports, even if they were playing tiddlywinks. That's how it worked. And that's what my orders were from the officer. I would do a lot of umpiring the games and stuff like that. Some of the games I didn't even know how to umpire, but I did. They taught me how quick.
I'm sure some guys didn't like the way you were umpiring either.
No. They give me a dirty look. But they're pretty good boys. All good boys.
Yeah, can you tell us something about the 4 battles that you were in? I know there's a lot that you don't want to talk about, but is there anything we can hear? Yeah, where were they?
The 4 battles.
Well, you said the Marshall Islands. You went to the Marshall Islands first.
Yeah, Saipan, Tinian, Iwo Jima, and Roy Lamore. Those are the 4 battles we went. But we had plenty of training before we went into each battle. In other words, we took a lot of rookies that's never been in combat, and we kind of trained them as was going to get ready for the next battle. And that way they knew what they were doing and actually saving their lives. That's what it had all about. But everybody followed the rules.
Well, that's good. And I'm glad that you made it out. You know, we respect and honor your service.
That's right. I kind of liked it.
And after the war, where did you go?
After the war, I worked for J.P. Stevens and Company as an overseer for 22 years
And where was that?
in Franklin. I worked for the state as manager of Wellington State Park.
We came up here, we lived in Franklin most of our life, and we came up here about 15 years ago and settled here to be near our family and to enjoy the grandchildren and the family get-togethers. Yeah, we've had a good life. We've spent a good many winters in Florida. About 20-some years we've been going down there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Where did you meet your lovely bride?
This
Franklin.
in Franklin.
Was that after the war?
No, that was
Yes, well,
yeah, it's after the war. You're
after
right.
the war, yes.
Yeah, after the war. That's right.
We've been married 71 years.
71 years. Well, congratulations. There's not many people can say that these days.
A wonderful family. Wonderful.
Yeah. What would you say to a young fella today who's thinking of going in the Marine Corps?
What was that?
What would you say to a young fella today who's thinking of going into the Marine Corps?
I think knows what he's doing, and he gets a lot of training, and it's good for him.
Okay.
They have a good program, and they learn from that. And the guys that little hard to learn it, they take and give them extra instructors to bring them along, so they're up with the rest of the guys. That's the way it works.
Now I want to ask you, your last name is Sargent.
Yeah.
Well, how did you respond when you were a private?
Right. Well, Sergeant. In fact, I got away with a lot.
I'll bet you did. Well, sir.
But, you know, I did my duty, too, like they did. But they always called me Sarge, the guys. Always did. They wouldn't say George, they'd say Sarge.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the 81 millimeter motors. And we had a good group. In fact, we was talking about the 2 guys in my squad. They both live in California. Joe Coelho and Donald Raynard.
That was a real good reunion because he hadn't seen them since he'd been out of the service. And he was so surprised, and we had a real wonderful time. We went to reunions all over in the States. They had it in different places every year. Nashville was the last one I think we went to.
Nashville? Yeah. Reunions are good because you get to talk about things that, like I said before, you couldn't talk to with civilians.
And you all have families, most of them, and they talk about their families and everything. And when the guys get together by themselves, have a little nip, they let it all out. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
themselves.
We had one special reunion in Hartford, Connecticut, where all our children came and their spouses, so that was really special. That was a very nice time with all our family there, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Your family support is wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what did your father think when you said you were going to join the Marine Corps?
What's that? Well, he kind of grunted a little, but other than that, I think he was pretty proud of me. Yeah.
I think he would be too. Yeah. Yeah. How'd your mother react?
She didn't mind.
Really?
Yeah, she thought it was good.
My mother cried when I signed up.
Yeah, she figured I'd get good bringing up, probably.
Well, again, I want to thank you for your service. It's a pleasure and an honor to talk with you. You're part of the greatest generation.
Thank you very much.
And again, I thank you for allowing us to come into your house and to talk with you and about things. And I know that there are things during the war that no one wants to talk about.
That's right. Yep. You kind of keep things to yourself.
You do. And it's good therapy when you can talk with other veterans that you were with to get these feelings out.
Oh, yes, we do, too. You know, then we all talk about our families and everything. And it's quite a thing.
I don't suppose you ever watched any war movies?
That's what?
I don't suppose you ever actually sat down and watched any war movies?
I don't think so. Some of them I did, but not all of them.
No. I know that's not something a lot of people do. They don't want to see
He
that.
has a lot of mementos, and as you enter here, you'll see in that little entryway, he's got all his Marine things, and people had painted a Iwo Jima photo that you'll see out there. Somebody in Florida did that for him. And so he has a lot of mementos from his service, yeah.
Well, I'd like to see some of those.
Perhaps could see them on the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Phil maybe's going to get some, I don't know. But anyways, that's, we've got a lot of things that, you've got a clock out there, and every once in a while I'll see that he goes out there and he salutes the different.
Did you take any souvenirs?
No.
All right, we're going to show, what do you got first? The letter? And this says, it's a citation.
It's on one of the islands.
Private First Class George F. Sargent, United States Marine Corps Reserve, for service set forth in the following citation. For excellent service in the line of his profession while serving as an ammunition carrier for an 81 millimeter mortar platoon during the invasion and capture of Saipan and Tinian, Mariana Islands, from 15 June to 1 August 1944. His initiative, energy, and devotion to duty contributed greatly to the success of his unit in the annihilation of the enemy. Wow. Ammunition carrier.
Yeah.
That's kind of a dangerous job.
Huh?
Something you don't want to drop.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, I want to show this. Show that. Okay. Let's see. The first ribbon on what's this one here? The first one there.
I really tell you the truth, it's mostly for services, good conduct and all that stuff.
Yeah, it looks like a defense medal.
These here are all the battles, 5 battles, 4 in there, and this is the guys that we were together over in Hawaii. We were stationed in Hawaii. There I am right there. And these guys are all radio men attached to the 81 motors.
Okay.
And I was kind of friendly with them, and but they had to be with us at all times because due to the radios, they had hooked up their phones and everything. From the front line to the back where the general sits and gives the orders.
I noticed 4 stars on one of the medals.
Yeah, that's every battle I've been in. But this is all mine.
And those are your dog tags down below?
Mm-hmm. Those are my dog tags.
Okay.
Quite a thing, huh?
Yeah. Can we show that picture?
I am right there.
How old were you in this picture?
I must have been 20 or 21, I think.
I can see why your wife was attached to you.
She grabbed me when I come back.
That's okay. Well, again, I thank you.
You're welcome.
For letting
You're
us
welcome.
come into your home and to talk with you about these things.
Okay.
Your lovely
Honor,
wife.
really.
Yeah.
An honor for you to do that.
Well,
Yes, it is.
and I want to thank my cameraman, Phil Wasmuth, and his lovely wife, Diane, for hosting us and letting us come in and do this. All right, well, you take care of yourself, sir.
Well,
And remember that
5.
your country, 95, wow, you don't look 95. I thought you were in your 80s.
That's good. Going on 96.
Well, you take care of yourself and know that your country is proud of you, and I'm sure your family is too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. My son was in the Air Force. Yeah.
When was he in the Air Force?
Vietnam, he went in that era, yeah.
Vietnam. Yeah.
He was a Vietnam in the Vietnam War.
How did you feel about that?
Huh?
How did you feel about that?
Well, I kind of couldn't stop him. He wanted to go into something, and I talked to him. He didn't have to, but he did. And he made up his mind like his old man did.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And that's what I did. My mother said the same thing to me, and everything, but I didn't. I wanted to get in with the guys. That's the way it worked.
He came out all right.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, he was in the Air Force.
Couldn't get him in the Marine Corps, huh?
Nope.
Okay. Well, again, I thank you. I really do. Thank you
Nice
both.
job.
And
Nice job.
And we also want to say that this was our first program for On the Porch, and I want to especially thank once again the Wasmuths for allowing us to do this, and I want to thank the Sargents, and we look forward to seeing you all again real soon.